Hello, I am Romina Madrid, and today I want to talk about the difference between sexuality and love. I want to talk about my own experience in life, for example, in relationship, and how my learning was in this aspect. Okay. Um, First of all, when I was a teenager, I was in a relationship that was super, hyper passionate, and I had a lot of orgasm, a lot of sex, a lot of emotions. That was great, but at the same time, I was feeling sometimes anger and sometimes hate and sometimes love, and all was like a struggle between one thing and another. This kind of person for me it was not enough. I was always out of control. I was always emotional. I was always unhappy in this aspect, although I had great sex. So for me, in a part of me, I relationate like that the sex was part of this kind of conflict. So years later, I changed all my life, and I said, okay, I don't like this kind of person. That was me, of course. It has to be with sexuality, it has to be with emotions. I don't want to be always struggling, always fighting, always in this kind of out of control. So, of course, I went for the other extreme because mine works like that. Always when you are in one point of the pendulum, the other day you are in the opposite extreme. So I become, years later, I become like a monk or something like that. I relationate sexuality with all this conflict and all this kind of emotion that I was having. So in some point, not consciously, but yes, subconsciously, I rejected sexuality. So I rejected all my desires. I really try. At that time, I find Buddhism, and in a way that I did understand the true meaning. Now I know, but at the time I just misunderstood all the knowledge from Buddha. So I say, okay, no desire is wrong, whatever. And I find another person. I put myself in a kind of relationship, and of course we didn't connect in a sexual way. We spent a lot of the time loving each other and sharing our lives. We were partners in all ways of life, like maybe cooking, maybe training, maybe just living life. I felt for him like a lot of idealism and beauty and everything that it comes from heart, but we couldn't connect sexually. So when years come by, I was feeling worse and worse, and my vitality drastically just went down. Because sexuality, it has a lot to do with vitality. So if you see that person, that young woman at the time was just like, I don't know, like maybe shut down in some level. Her eyes dark and her skin dark. I was very unhappy. I was very unhappy because sexuality was missing in my life. So I learned from that experience that you cannot reject sexuality. Even when you have all the love in the world, you cannot reject sexuality. So I ended that relationship because we couldn't go through that problem at the time. So I keep learning about myself and how to bring this opposite together, how to bring sexuality without losing control, without to be out of control, how to be in connect with love without lose sexuality, without lose this root of life, of vitality that it has to do with sexuality. So in the time I could bring this opposite together and conflict just stopped. So I think it's good for you. You do the same thing. Just search for something, a kind of symbol or meditation that could bring both together, sexuality and love. And that I could do it. I could did it in Tantra. Tantra can bring sexuality, that is the root of the tree, with love. Sexuality works as the roots and love works maybe as a foliage, you know. When you bring this opposite together, is that you feel full, you feel plenty, you feel that you are satisfied, you know. You can be vulnerable and at the same time you can be vital. You know, you can be with a lot of energy, because energy in sexuality, it has to do with vitality. It has to do with all the desire that moves you through the world, that moves you to do things, different kind of things, that moves you to be creative, moves you to be, I don't know, constructive, productive, to do things, you know, to love to do things. So I recommend you to find Tantra, and you can do this. You can bring this opposite together. You can bring love and sexuality together. So I invite you to my sessions, maybe whatever in the part of the world that you are. Hope that you find that it makes you feel plenty, full. So thank you and namaste.